Всем привет! Мы продолжаем проходить инквизицию. И нам надо бы заглянуть на вставку, ТДТП, посмотреть, что там. Так, отлично. Отлично. Дориан. А здесь что? В смысле, я тут ничего не сделал? Да. Так. Приезд чаровницы. О. Да. Пойдем общаться с той самой гномихой из первой части. Так, это продолжение про Варика. Защитить репутацию. Да ты шо? Защищай. Ну и сделку с торгашами.
At your service. Are you all right, Leliana? I suppose not. Haven was
исследовать западный предел. Да? Нет, подождите. Сначала разберемся тут. Поболтаем со всеми в замке, узнаем, что происходит, что, где, почему и зачем. Угу. И потом уже разберемся, что дальше. Так, Жозефина.
I've made some inquiries into the Imperial Court. The sooner we deal with the threat to the Empress, the better. The political situation in the Empire is dangerously unstable. It will complicate matters.
Everything in the Empire complicates matters. It's the Orlesian national pastime.
Turn your nose up at the grand game if you like, Commander, but we play for the highest stakes, and to the death. The Court's disapproval can be as great a threat as the Venatori. We must be vigilant to avert disaster.
Весьма шаткая. Что там происходит?
Exactly what do you mean? How is it more dangerous than usual?
The Empress is in the middle of a civil war. Her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard, seeks to take her throne by force. Leliana reports that a group of elves has been sabotaging both armies, drawing out the hostilities. Orlais holds Tevinter at bay. All of Tedas could be lost if the Empire falls to Corypheus. Celine is holding peace talks under the auspices of a grand masquerade. Every power in Orlais will be there. It's the perfect place for an assassin to hide.
Ну, бля, мне надеть нечего. Что за хуйня?
A grand masquerade? I need to go shopping.
We don't have enough sway with the court to arrange an invitation. Perhaps a few more alliances.
Or soldiers.
We need a greater presence in Orlais. And soon.
Да без Б. Делаем. Так, что ты еще можешь рассказать?
I was just inspecting our new headquarters. Foundation cracks, nesting animals, and miles from any centers of civilization. The staff must make it presentable if we're to receive any visitors of distinction.
А что ты хотела, короче? Замок пустовал, я не знаю, наверное, не одно столетие, с тех пор, как, я не знаю, тут Солос, короче, тусил. Хрен его знает, сколько он там был в своем этом анабиозе. Ну, типа, да, надо бы прибраться.
We've only just now convinced everyone we are precisely what Teras requires. The mages are showing great trust in you. They need to feel safe here.
А ты как себя чувствуешь?
Do you not feel safe here?
I've had difficulty forgetting Corypheus' attack on Haven. Do you know who first leapt to arms? Our workers. They were so proud of our cause. Corypheus simply cut them down. So much screaming after that first blast of fire. So many people turned to ash.
Мы отомстим, короче, за эту херню.
Corypheus will pay when I face him again.
I dearly hope that happens. Well, before I return to my duties, allow me to congratulate you on your appointment as Inquisitor, my lord. I will now bring diplomatic issues to your attention, and I'm more than happy to help with any situations that arise.
Так, нет. Ну, типа... Да, прям вот холодно, как раз пойдем купаться.
I'd be delighted if you could conjure up a marble bath within the next hour.
I'll attempt to add that to the list.
Ты юмора не понимаешь, женщина. С тобой еще побазарить можно?
Inquisitor, is it true? Is the mark on your hand magic cast by Corypheus?
Corypheus claimed it's a spell gone wrong.
I wanted to think it was a blessing. A sign the Maker was returning to his creation. How credulous of me.
Это как бы просто магия.
The anchor's nothing more special than a misfired spell.
At least you had the good fortune to take it from Corypheus. Does it hurt? The anchor, that is.
Да, типа все ок.
It looks strange, but it hasn't done me harm.
If it did come from Corypheus, that's a small mercy.
Слушай, эта херня светится в темноте. Мешает только спать разве что. И закрывает стрёмные разрывы в реальности. Так что вполне себе полезная штука. Так, ладно, пошли дальше. С кем-то пообщаемся. Ай, там же чаровница приехала. Где мой трон? Я же делала себе драконий трон. О, ой, беда. Ой. А чё ты так прогрузился-то плохо? Я думала, ты какой-то побольше будешь. Что такой маленький трон? Алло, как я тут сидеть буду? Какой-то баг, точно. Дали мне трон для карликов. А я не гном.
Inquisitor?
The Arcanist has arrived.
You should see for yourself.
Кузнец явно недоволен. Что это за высушенный череп? Чешуйся. Стрёмная.
Hello there.
Ну прям. Да тихо ты, я просто смотрела на водопад.
You're the magical advisor.
You're him, the Inquisitor.
Спокойно.
I'm Dagna. Arcanist Dagna. It's an honor, your worship. Is that it? The hand anchor mark? It's pretty. Breach was pretty too, in a destroy everything sort of way.
Ну, добро пожаловать.
I welcome you to the Inquisition and look forward to your contribution.
Me too. I've heard some impossible things. I love impossible things. Those are the best to make, well, possible. I've looked at Herod's devices. Precision is fantastic, but typical, mundane, old thinking. No disrespect meant to the classical trades, but you need a new perspective. I've made adjustments. As long as I keep making them, you can craft just about anything. Almost safely.
Что вы умеете?
What is it you do exactly?
I was born to the forge. That's literal in the Smithcast. So the hammer and tong, that's like a heartbeat. But you've a man for that already, and a good one. I'm here because of my passion for magic. Magical study, magical theory, magical enchantment, and through it, the manipulation of masterworks. I studied it all with an objective eye. No secrets, no fears. That lets me apply principles like no other.
Расскажите мне про зачарование.
What's the story with enchanting?
Lyrium is the heart. In certain rational patterns, it beats like something alive. That's how I see it. So, a mage can make your weapons do things, but with the right runes, the right rarities, your toys become wonders. It's the one thing mages can't do. Drives them mad. Literally. Dwarves are resistant, so it doesn't affect us. Mostly.
Mostly? Ну-ну. А что за отменные вещи?
You have the ability to make exceptional weapons and armor. Masterworks.
There's an art to the forge as well as enchanting. You need an ear for it. And hands. Eyes, too. Nothing bad to say about Herod on that front. He's wonderful. But there's this little more needed. With the right bits, an edge can be more than an edge. Armor can do more than protect. A hue can be just a bit brighter. In short, smithing can be more. In short.
Такая очень увлеченная
Another time,
персона.
Dagna.
Of course. Bring me what you want made, and I'll make sure it goes just right.
Окей, так. Что-то новое? Ну, заебись. Я думаю, можно попытаться что-то сделать. Может, чего-то хватит. Ой. Ой-ой. 125, 136. А что такое? 0 уровень брони, а зачем оно мне тогда? Это же такое. Я понял, что не хватает материалов. Ну, да мне хотя бы, блин, уровень брони показал бы. Алло. Сто 133. Ну хорошо. А тут типа ничего нельзя поставить. А можно. А что она делает? Отменную вещь. Отменную вещь. Давайте. 116. Вот. Максимальное здоровье давай. Ну давай так. Окей. Ладно, во всяком случае себе я что-то сделала. Что у нас по оружию? 55. А ничего хорошего по оружию нет. Для нас. Здесь я себе 137 с драконом. А надо ли оно мне? Лук. Ладно. Так, и там что-то можно было, по-моему, улучшить. Так, знаки это все белиберда. А что, это единственная возможность что-то с ним сделать? Просто вставить знак? Ужас какой. Нафиг тогда надо. А что с оружием? А я ничего не могу сделать, да? Так, что-то там было у Варика. Варик, ты где? В самом конце. Бьянку можно, бьянки можно вот добавить. Плечи какие-нибудь. Ну я же вставляю. Вот. Уже лучше. Короче, это все, в принципе, что можно сделать. И. А, рассветный лотос здесь нужен. Короче, надо собирать травки, муравки. А я всем-то назначала, кстати, зелье. Ага. Кассандры нет. Ой. Ни у кого нет. Блин, я забрала Блэквелла, и тогда не успела с ним поговорить, и нигде я не успела ни с кем, по-моему. С Блэквеллом я так и не поговорила. Я понеслась, короче, дальше по сюжету. А зря. Очень даже зря. А все, да? То есть осталось еще несколько, чтобы добавить зелья. Так, ну, короче. А, подождите, я хочу пока сначала продать. Что я могу продать? Вот это мне не надо, вот это и вот это. Здесь что? Это тоже в жопу. Это не то. О. Да. Ну и все. А все равно что-то очень много всего осталось. А, я же оружие не продала еще. Ой, 123. Нафиг эти. Тут тоже нет. 123. Мечи. Двести три. Ну, вот на него уже есть, так что мне не нужны эти штуки. Так, уже хорошо. И окрасить доспехи. Божечки. Где мой? Вот. Что это окрашивает? Объясните мне. Непонятно, что конкретно он окрашивает. А, чешую у меня окрашивает. Пусть будет такой прикольненький. Так, кожа. Белый. Синий. Белый. Вот это вот прикольно. О, золото, да, все вот это вот. Буду вот такая красивенькая бегать. Так. Трон так и не прогрузился нормально. Ну, что ж, теперь пойдем со всеми общаться. Вивьен сейчас будет меня тут, короче, чехвостить.
It was a mistake to use Haven as a base of operations. The town was completely indefensible.
Конечно, вы правы, полностью, да.
It was a bad location. We should have moved sooner.
You left yourself vulnerable to attack. It was a miscalculation, one that I'm sure you won't repeat. But the enemy struck a serious blow against you and the Inquisition. We must recognize that. You must.
Корифей за это заплатит.
I'm not going to forgive what happened at Haven. Corypheus will answer for what he's done.
You're angry. Good. Anger can save you when everything else is gone. Just make sure you put it to good use. Our enemy advances, Inquisitor. We must not sit idly by. Act first and teach them to fear us. You can become the leader the faithful require, but you must do it soon.
А что-то никуда не делось.
Yes?
Ясно. А я не понял. А этого раньше не было. Что за хуйня? Ладненько. Очень странно себя игра ведет.
So, Inquisitor. It's Inquisitor now, right? Remember that war we talked about stopping? Full of little baddies I can stick with little arrows. That's not a friggin' archdemon, is it? Draste, what does stab him?
Да, если она ответит, дай мне знать.
Let me know what she says. I could use some clarification myself.
It's swearing, not praying. She doesn't answer. Not like she's supposed to. I know what happened to you. Or what everyone here thinks happened. It seems... I don't know what it seems.
Корифей вполне себе реальная жужа.
The ancient thing trying to kill us seems pretty real.
Don't get me started. Oh, wait. Too late, right? A magister who cracked the Black City. It's a hazy dream, right? I mean, if it's real, then the seat of the Maker? Real thing. A seat needs a book, so the Maker? Real thing. Fairy stories about the start and end of the world? Real things. It's too far, innit? I just want to plug the Skyhole rubbish so I can go play.
Никаких плей. Да, мне нужны тексты,
Keep
сомневаюсь.
calling it nonsense. That perspective will keep the Inquisition grounded.
Oh, I can do that. Sure could use a few more people shouting no. We fight, the bad things go away, everyone calms down, and everything goes back to normal. A nice, well-paid normal.
Да-да, уже почти здравое
You're
размышление.
starting to not sound completely crazy.
I know, scary, innit? So bring 'em on. But first, food. I'm starving.
Конечно, о чем еще надо думать? Еда. Не было тебя здесь никогда. Что ты здесь забыла? С тобой еще о чем-то поболтать можно?
Sir Lordy Bloomers.
Расфуфрие? Ничего себе.
I'll be back if I need you.
Ничего интересного. Расфуфрие. Сама ты расфуфрие. О. Здравствуйте.
So, this is Skyhold. Come, let's walk the ramparts. I want to examine our fortifications. Solus chose well. We'll be able to spot an invading force from miles away.
Не факт, чувак, они могут
For as
прилететь
long
на
as I've
орлах.
been here, we've never really spoken at length.
Ну, как бы да, я пропустила этот момент. Прости, чувак.
We haven't, have we? Sorry about that.
Don't apologize. You have responsibilities now, and I don't need coddling. Our energies should be focused on Corypheus. He'll pay for Haven. I swear I'll take that twisted bastard down, even if I have to die to do it.
Спасибо, мужик.
I'm grateful for your support.
It's my job, isn't it? Killing Darkspawn. Look, in spite of it all, there is hope. The people flock to your banner. They believe in you.
И чё?
Tell me honestly, are you what they say you are? Andraste's chosen?
Да почем мне знать?
There's so little I remember. What if they're right?
Does it even matter? Don't you see what you are to them? Without you, they'd be consumed by despair. We all would. They need you to be Andraste's messenger. It gives them hope. The truth doesn't matter. Listen to me talk. Your time is valuable, and I've wasted enough of it.
Да-да, мы знаем, почему ты так говоришь. Чтобы защитить свою жопу от будущего пиздеца. Так. Опа. По-моему, здесь Калин спит, нет? Алло! А что дверь-ка не открывается? Не, нормально. Ну, баррикадировались. Ладно, все равно мне к Варику. Сейчас сюда приду. Дратуй, Варик, показывай мне защитника Киркова.
Inquisitor, meet Hawk, the champion of Kirkwall.
Though I don't use that title much anymore.
Ну,
Hawk,
хорош.
the Inquisitor. I figured you might have some friendly advice about Corypheus. You and I did fight him, after all.
Чё такая серьезная морда, мужик? Успокойся.
This view reminds me of my home in Kirkwall. I had a balcony that overlooked the whole city. I loved it at first. But after a while, all I could see were the people out there depending on me.
Ну да, мне понятно, каково тебе было.
You're lucky it was just a single city. I've got half of Thedas.
You're doing everything you can to protect them.
Does it ever get any easier?
I'll let you know. I don't envy you, Inquisitor. But I may be able to help you.
Varric said that you fought Corypheus before.
Fought and killed. The Grey Wardens were
Варик
holding
уже
him,
пухает,
and
ты
he somehow
посмотри на
used
него.
his connection to the Darkspawn to influence them.
Corypheus got into their heads, messed with their minds, turned them against each other.
If the Wardens have disappeared, they could have fallen under his control again.
А процесс обратим?
If that's what happened to the Wardens, do you think we can free them?
It's possible. But we need to know more first. I've got a friend in the Wardens. He was investigating something unrelated for me. His name is Stroud. The last time we spoke, he was worried about corruption in the Warden ranks. Since then, nothing.
Corypheus would certainly qualify as corruption in the ranks. Did your friend disappear with them?
No. He told me he'd be hiding in an old smuggler's cave near Crestwood.
Ну, типа, да, попробовать стоит узнать, что там.
I'll take any lead I can get at the moment.
Good. I'll do whatever I can to help. Corypheus is my responsibility. I thought I'd killed him before. This time, I'll make sure of it. Inquisitor.
Что? Что, Инквизитор? Да, где твоя компашка?
I heard you had family and friends in Kirkwall. Where are they now?
When the Wardens began acting strangely, I had my friend Aveline take my brother out of the Free Marches. My uncle Gamlen's still in Kirkwall. But everyone else I used to know, they've pretty much scattered to the winds.
Что произошло в Киркуле?
Varric said you were the champion of Kirkwall. I've only heard a little about what happened there.
What happened at Kirkwall was the same thing that happened everywhere. Fearful of blood magic and abominations, the Templars brutally suppressed the Circle. And in their desperation to survive, the mages of the Circle turned to blood magic, or became abominations. Finally, a rebel mage named Anders destroyed Kirkwall's chantry, and everything came tumbling down.
Да-да, вредный Андерс.
I heard that Anders was your friend. What was he like?
I don't know if there ever was just Anders. He was crazy. By the end, there was nothing left in him except this insane need to start a war no one could win.
Ну, им же овладел дух справедливости. Ты что? И он считал, что у них полноценный союз, отличный симбиоз. Но нихуя подобного. Вы сражались с Корифеем, с Корифуем, с
You said you thought
Корифаем.
you killed Corypheus. The Grey Wardens had him imprisoned. They used my father's blood in a ritual to seal Corypheus inside. But he could still reach out and influence the Warden's thoughts. He sent them after me. And I didn't just think I killed him. When the fight was done, he was dead on the ground. Maybe his tie to the Blight somehow brought him back. Or maybe it's old Tevinter magic. But he was dead. I swear it.
Тут какая-то хуйта по-любому. Да, где ты шлялся, Сидор?
Where did you go after the mages rebelled?
I heard the Chantry might be sending an exalted march to Kirkwall to put down the rebellion. I hoped that leaving would save lives and force the Divine to divide her forces to come after me. As it turned out, I needn't have bothered. All the circles started rising up, and the exalted march never came.
А Варик что уже напиздел
I
тебя?
assume Varric's been feeding you information about the Inquisition. What did he say about me?
Only good things, I promise. I was a little surprised, actually. Varric isn't one for religion in general, but he thinks highly of the Inquisition.
Ну, инквизиция к религии тут такое себе имеет отношение сейчас.
We'll talk later.
I'll meet you at Crestwood.
Так, хорошо, это понятно. Где я? Что здесь? Ничего полезного. Так, ладненько. Какие-то спуски. Ну, по-моему, еще не... Ну, ясен пень, со всеми пообщались. Со всеми пообщаемся, и потом уже... Опа, Кассандра, к тебе уже можно яйца подкатывать или нет? А, ну да, да.
You knew where Hawk was all along.
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit.
You kidnapped me. You interrogated me. What did you expect?
Hey, enough!
You're taking his side?
I said enough!
Чё ты орёшь-то так?
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. Hawk was our only hope. He was the champion of Kirkwall. The mages respected him. And you kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
Ну, блин, чё было, то было, тут уже все, короче.
You can't change the past, Cassandra.
So I must accept... what? That the Maker wanted all this to happen? That he... Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Ну, нам надо как бы, да, вместе действовать, ребята, утихомирились.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Я не это имела в виду.
Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
I understand.
I must not think of what could have been. We have so much at stake.
А, это
Go,
фраза.
Varric. Just go.
Такая типа, мама, ладно, я тебя не буду наказывать, короче, просто иди. Вот это так выглядит.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
I believed him. He spun his story for me and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
Ну, типа, как бы, да, но ты же у нас такая вся прямолинейная, ля-ля-ля. Так что ж, учись на своих ошибках. А ты мне нравишься все равно, бубочка ты.
Good thing I still like you.
I'm serious.
Ну,
You
конечно, ты
think I'm
серьезно.
not?
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. You're not what I'd pictured.
Ну, извините.
But if I've learned anything, it's that I know less than nothing.
А мне мой персонаж нравится, Кассандра. Ты тоже его полюбишь, не переживай. Нужно просто время. Куда пошла? Стоять.
Something is troubling me, Inquisitor. Leliana is receiving reports of mages becoming possessed, Templars going rogue. No one is dealing with these matters. I was hoping we might, before they get worse.
Ясен пень, да.
We can certainly look into it.
I will mark these incidents on the map as I learn of them, Inquisitor. And I would be pleased to accompany you if and when you investigate.
Ну, тут и так понятно. Так. Ой.
May I ask you about the Chantry?
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Да, вообще, стоит ли?
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
If you ask my opinion, it is. Absolutely.
Конечно.
Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
Да, какая?
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important.
Ну что?
Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the
Ой,
poor.
ты такая
If we are to spread the Maker's
идеалистка.
word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
Да, вот, вот.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
Женщина, ты же варилась во всей этой филиберде, в высших кругах. Ты знаешь, как там все устроено? Серьезно?
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
Will the Chantry replace Divine Justinian?
They will try. Once the priests withdraw for the Grand Consensus, it is against Chantry law for them to emerge without naming a new divine. Sometimes it takes days, or weeks, or even months.
Ну, как
The
при
problem
выборе
now is
папы.
that no clear successor to Justinia exists. All worthy clerics died with her at the conclave.
Да. Если у них будет неважно.
So what happens if they can't agree on someone?
Theoretically, they will argue until exhaustion takes them or they see reason. Practically, however, if the Grand Consensus goes on too long, the Chantry will crumble. Any cleric with ambition but little sense will see this as her one chance, and plenty of such clerics exist. We shall see what happens. The Inquisition must act in the meantime.
Жопа, жопа, по-любому.
If they do choose a new divine, will you serve her?
That depends on whether she would have me. I am a rebel now, remember? And even if she would, I do not know. It would depend on what type of divine she is. I am no longer in a position to follow blindly, and no new divine could expect such obedience now.
Я смотрю, у тебя, короче, такое мировоззрение разрушилось немножечко, и ты такая вся в смятении, да?
Thank you.
Я с тобой еще не договорила,
What is it?
подожди. Что значит what is it? Успокойся.
Can you tell me more about the Seekers?
The Seekers of Truth were born from the original Inquisition long ago, when it united with the Chantry. Seekers stood above the Templars, watching over them but also investigating magical events they couldn't handle. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach. How seldom does reality match the ideal?
But what are Seekers exactly?
Those who know anything of us think we are Templars. We do not use lyrium, however. Our abilities are different, as was our original purpose. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the Divine. And not even her, truthfully.
Короче, вы отдельная каста инквизиторов, скрытая. Мы все про вас знаем.
So nobody ever watched over the Seekers?
It was the Divine's duty, but she could only do so much when the truth was hidden from her. The Templars have always feared us. When a Seeker arrived at a circle, they knew trouble was afoot. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to think you are the only one who can solve the world's problems. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does, they are the blind ones.
Ну, типа, как обычно, с любой властью.
Do you think that kind of problem could ever be fixed?
Possibly. Though the Seekers themselves would need to change. They were clearly not willing to, even though they abandoned everything they stood for to avoid it. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged, but not by their own hands.
You mentioned that Seekers have different abilities than Templars.
Entirely. A Templar's abilities come from lyrium and are designed to hunt mages. Ours come from ritual and many years of dedicated training. We cannot be possessed by demons and are immune to mind control. Useful, considering our role. Seekers can gain other gifts, though that depends on the individual.
Да, какие у тебя таланты?
What kind of gifts do you have?
I can set the lyrium within a person's blood aflame. Both mages and Templars bend before my will. Some Seekers use it to interrogate, others simply to paralyze. Once there was a Seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered rare.
How does someone become a Seeker?
Most Seekers begin training in their youth. I was much older, an exception due to my noble birth. We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vigil, and most fail even then.
Чё за бдение? Точно какие-то шаманские практики?
Is the vigil some kind of initiation?
It is the rite every Seeker must go through in order to summon their gifts. A full year of fasting, prayer, and separation from all distractions, including other people. We empty ourselves of all emotion, focusing only on the purity of our devotion. And the moment it finally ends, it's wonderful. Faith realized. I cannot put it into words.
Это какая-то особая магия.
Was it some kind of magic?
I don't fully understand it, to be honest. If the vigil was not so arduous, I'd say more should attempt it. What if mages never needed to fear possession by demons? I'm told it is impossible, however. I suppose I'll never know the truth of it now.
Узнаешь потом, подожди, тебя ждет сюрприз.
Why did your order turn against the Chantry?
We originally united with the Chantry through a treaty that stated they would keep mages under control. It was felt Most Holy had tacitly allowed the Circle of Magi to vote on its independence, thus breaking the treaty. The Seekers saw themselves as justified, and they led the Templars into a war of righteousness.
You sound like you disagree.
We knew what was happening at Kirkwall, where the Mage Rebellion began. We looked into reports of Knight Commander Meredith's harsh treatment of her charges years earlier. But we found so many shocking cases of magical corruption, it was decided her actions were justified. If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes...
You seem to care a great deal about it.
Too much, if you ask the rest of my order. When faced with a problem, the Seekers would close ranks and crush it. We would find an answer, but only once we felt we weren't being coerced. The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was predictable. It was difficult to watch.
I've no more questions.
Нет, подожди.
Go on, then.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Что с братом расскажешь теперь,
Tell
нет?
me about your brother.
I'd rather not.
Ладно, я
I'll let you get back to
смотрю.
work.
Короче, Кассандра пока что-то очень недовольна. Ну ладно, сделаем пару ее заданий, вдруг она успокоится. Так,
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
я буду защищать тебя, успокойся. Да, было странно.
Every time I think I understand magic, the rules change.
And you're a mage, so that's saying something.
Это все, что ты мне можешь сказать?
Inquisitor, huh? Well, you've got the fortress for it. Speaking of which, when you've got a second, there's something I want to show you.
Ну, что ты мне
What did you want me
хочешь
to come
шоу?
see?
Here, come on. I'll show you.
Сейчас будет меня обучать
Why am I
психологии.
dressed like this?
You'll see. Come on. It'll be worth your time, I promise. Evening. Iron Bull. My merc band just joined up.
Tanner. I'm from Jader. Well, near Jader.
Mira. I was guard captain for Lady Pendel. Signed on after shit blew up at the Conclave. Share a drink? Who's your friend?
This is Grim. He doesn't talk much.
Hey.
So, you ready to kill some demons? Or Venatori? Or whatever that Corypheus asshole is?
This isn't just about killing. We're helping the Inquisitor save the world and build the next empire.
Well, long as I get paid, I'm happy. That's why I signed up.
I just couldn't spend my whole life on a farm. Needed to live a little, you know.
What about you, Mira? Why'd you join up? I thought you were serving some noble.
I saw what happened at Haven. The Inquisitor staring down that monster and his archdemon. I don't sing the chant of light as much as I should. But you can't see something like that and not believe.
Well, Grim and I should find our tents. Thanks for the drink.
Я же ничего такого не сделал.
I know every soldier under my
Простите.
command. You don't have that option. But a few faces might help.
Да.
It was good to get their perspective.
Yeah. Sounds like we could use an easy win for boys like Tanner. And vets like Mira have seen enough to be wary. You've got a good army coming along. Remember that. No matter what comes next.
Так, и где я теперь? Блэквелл, а чё ты тут тусишь все время? Я не поняла.
Something on your mind?
Да, стражи поддались влиянию, или ты не в курсе?
Varric's friend Hawk said there were suspicions of corruption in Grey Warden ranks. Do you know anything about that?
Corruption? What sort of corruption?
Corypheus. He's been known to influence the minds of Wardens.
That could very well explain why so many have disappeared.
А, как ты себя чувствуешь?
Are you feeling all right? No voices or anything?
If I start hearing things, I promise you'll be the first to know.
Let's talk about the Grey Wardens. You must know a lot about them.
Ah, the Wardens. I'm afraid we're less exciting than we seem.
How do the Wardens deal with archdemons?
Short answer. Stick it with swords until it stops moving.
Ты о них ничего нормального не знаешь, не палишься.
I'll trust that you know what you're talking about.
We'll manage, if it comes to that.
The Blight's been over for 10 years. What do Wardens do when the world's not ending?
There are still Darkspawn. Just because we kill so many in Ferelden doesn't mean they're gone. And the world is not so peaceful that there's no use for good men with swords. Sometimes you have to figure out for yourself what the pledge to protect others really means. It's not always about just archdemons and blights.
Where were you during the Blight?
I was in Ferelden, on my own like always. Quietly killed my fair share of Darkspawn too.
Пиздит как дышит.
You haven't had contact with other Wardens for a while. Why were you on your own?
It's what I've always done. Recruitment only requires one man. Besides, I've always been a loner. Works best for everyone that way.
Let's continue this at another time.
As you wish. I'll be here if you need me. Yes?
Мы же поговорили о серых
Let's
стражах.
talk about
Что
the Grey
еще?
Wardens. You must know a lot about them.
Ah, the Wardens. I'm afraid we're less exciting than we seem.
Let's continue
В
this
чем
at
смысл
another time.
тогда, типа,
As you wish.
той
I'll be here if you need me.
фигни в диалоговом окне? Зачем мне туда вопрос? Да.
I want to hear more about you.
Compared to yours, my life will seem dull indeed.
Ой, да успокойся.
Your name, Blackwall, doesn't sound Orlesian. Marcher, then? Ferelden?
I was from the Free Marchers originally. Markham. That was a long time ago. Another life.
I hear that many Wardens were once criminals.
You're right. And when you join, your past is forgotten, so let's leave it that way.
What did you do before you became a Warden?
I was a soldier, a nobody trained to wield a sword and follow orders. I grew weary of fighting other men's wars.
So you became a Warden?
More or less. Becoming a Grey Warden was the first time I felt like I mattered. The life I led before seems hollow in comparison. Perhaps one day it will fade away.
Why did you join the Wardens?
Because they remember honor and sacrifice. Words that have little meaning to the rest of us. Because they lay down their lives for those they have sworn to protect. We all need to believe there are such men in the world. I needed to believe I could be one of them.
We can continue this discussion at another time.
Very well.
Так. Я не понял. По идее, здесь еще должны быть люди, все дела. Почему они, короче, здесь? Да, по идее. Ой, кстати, надо бы сейчас соусом. О,
The order was
с
sent.
Кареном пообщаться.
Send men to scout the area. We need to know what's out there.
Yes, sir. Commander, soldiers have been assigned temporary quarters.
Very good. I'll need an update on the armory as well.
Что ты там себе чухаешь? Чухается он, ты посмотри.
We set up as best we could at Haven, but could never prepare for an archdemon, or whatever it was. With some warning, we might have...
Да, ты хоть отдыхаешь иногда?
Do you ever sleep?
If Corypheus strikes again, we may not be able to withdraw. I wouldn't want to. We must be ready. Work on Skyhold is underway. Guard rotations established. We should have everything on course within the week. We will not run from here, Inquisitor.
Inquisitor Trevelyan. Sounds odd, don't you think?
Not at all.
Is that the official response?
I suppose it is. But it's the truth. We needed a leader. You have proven yourself.
Ну, я доверяю твоим советам.
You responded quickly to the attack on Haven. Without that, so many more would have died. I'm grateful for any help you can give.
Thank you, Inquisitor. I will do everything I can to ensure the security of our people. You have my word.
Интересно, зачем ему сверху эта пушистость? Она же мешает, нет? О, с тобой можно побулькать.
At your service.
Ладно.
That's all for now. Should you require anything, I'll be here.
Так, с кем еще? Сюда типа пока нельзя попасть. Хотя вон конюшня есть. Или беда какая-то. Так.
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
Насколько сложнее, блин.
I'm not sure how much more complexity I need, Solus.
Indeed, my dear. He may call it whatever he likes, but it is still a threat.
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But you claim Cole looks like a young man. Is it possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
Да, объясню эту фигню.
In my studies, demons either possess something from this world, or were summoned and bound. They almost never look like something you'd mistake for a person.
Normally you'd be correct. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
The demons who came through the breach, or through the rifts, weren't possessing anything.
These demons were drawn through against their will, driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
Ну, я, короче, с ним побазарю.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself. Where is he now?
If none of us remember him, he could be anywhere.
Опа, кто там сейчас проехался?
Haven. So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. I can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
You're feeling their pain.
It's louder this close, with so many of them.
Would you like to go somewhere more comfortable?
Yes, but here is where I can help. Every breath slower, like lying in a warm bath, sliding away. Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain, dry, scraping, thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
Да, ты кто, блин?
Solus tried to explain what you are, but honestly, I stopped listening after a while. Any chance you could explain it?
Yes. I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
Ну да.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt, the helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
Ну, типа, да.
All right. Help him.
It's all right. I want to stay.
И куда все подевались? Ну, всех перебил, что ли? Так, туда я не могу забраться почему-то.
Roderick was sorry before he died.
Did he tell you why he was sorry?
Blood everywhere. Monsters, madness, dying. We're all dying. The Herald stands against it, and heads turn. Desperate and simple. Pure. Voices in the chantry. Years since I'd sung the song and felt it flowing through me. But this is real. This is real. So long since I'd felt it. Falling, flying, faith. And I fought him. Make her forgive me. I hope I did enough.
Так, ладно. Не совсем понятно, что хочет от меня игра, в плане того, что, типа... Почему мне не открыли туда проход? Что происходит? Так, надо еще... О, здравствуйте.
Cassandra's calmed down. I think you can take your hand off your crossbow.
Define calm down for me in terms of who or what she's punching right now. I wasn't trying to keep secrets. I told the Inquisition everything that seemed important at the time.
Да.
I bet Cassandra regrets how things went back there. You should talk to her.
I appreciate that you're trying to keep the peace, but things between me and the Seeker are as good as they'll get. I keep hoping none of this is real. Maybe it's all some bullshit from the Fade, and it'll just disappear.
Так не
I
получится,
know I need
Варик.
to do better. I'm sorry.
О! Внезапно стульчики появились. Подожди, а что такое?
Corypheus is back. Oh, shit.
Да. Что за фигня-то?
You said he was a Darkspawn or a Magister. What is he really?
I'm not sure. I don't think Corypheus really knows either. He's definitely a Darkspawn, but when we found him, it was pretty obvious he hadn't heard that. He thinks he's a Magister, a priest of Dumat, in fact. He says he broke into the Golden City, like in the Chantry tale.
Ну, типа, да, вы же уже с ним справлялись когда-то.
If you and Hawk defeated him once, we can do it again.
We didn't just think Corypheus was dead. He was dead. No pulse, no breath, full of stab wounds. There wasn't a lot of room for doubt. It makes me wonder. I thought the wardens imprisoned Corypheus to use him. Maybe they did it because he can't be killed.
Да.
How did you and Hawk even wind up in a Grey Warden prison for ancient Darkspawn?
Corypheus sent people after Hawk. He actually got control of an entire Carter clan. Made them drink Darkspawn blood.
Да.
Weird shit. We tracked the Carter to an old dwarven fort or something in the mountains. Of course, it turned out to be a trap. They needed Hawk's blood to open the locks holding Corypheus, and they drew us into the prison to get it.
Какой хитрый план. Да, мы найдем способ.
There has to be a way to defeat Corypheus. We'll find it, don't worry.
I hope you're right. Maker's breath, what have I let loose?
А ты-то тут при чем?
You had nothing to do with this, Varric.
I was the one who led Hawk to Corypheus. If I hadn't tracked the Carter to that ruin. But you've got more important things to do than listen to me worry. Just let me know when you want something shot.
Все такие, короче, жалеют в последнее время обо всем. Обо всяком. Как-то странно. Ну, в смысле... Понятно. А что за личный вопрос?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Ну да, больше ничего пока.
No problem.
Так, где... О, уже... Этот уже, короче, обустроился.
So much as I explored the Fade, I felt the presence of an intriguing artifact in the hinterlands. If you are willing, I would like to locate it. I have marked its location as best I could determine.
Да.
I'm interested in what you told me of yourself and your studies. If you have time, I'd like to hear more.
You continue to surprise me. All right, let us talk. Preferably somewhere more interesting than this.
Сейчас будет это древнеэльфийская сонная магия. Алло, что так долго грузимся? Исорат, Веральд. Какие интересные имена. Ну давай быстрее.
Why here?
Haven is familiar. It will always be important to you.
We talked about that already.
Когда? Я не помню, чтобы мы об этом говорили.
I sat beside you while you slept, studying the anchor.
How long can it take to look at a mark on my hand?
A magical mark of unknown origin? Tied to a unique breach in the veil? Longer than you might think. I ran every test I could imagine. Searched the Fade, yet found nothing. Cassandra suspected duplicity. She threatened to have me executed as an apostate if I didn't produce results.
Да, Кассандра точно так могла сделать.
Cassandra's like that with everyone.
Yes.
Ему явно это не понравилось.
You were never going to wake up? How could you? Mortals sent physically through the Fade. I was frustrated, frightened. The spirits I might have consulted had been driven away by the breach. Although I wished to help, I had no faith in Cassandra. or she in me. I was ready to flee.
Действительно, куда?
The breach threatened the whole world. Where did you plan to go?
Someplace far away, where I might research a way to repair the breach before its effects reached me. I never said it was a good plan. I told myself, one more attempt to seal the rifts. I tried and failed. No ordinary magic would affect them. I watched the rifts expand and grow, resigned myself to flee, and then... It seems you hold the key to our salvation. You had sealed it with a gesture. And right then, I felt the whole world change.
Да.
It was that impressive to see me awake?
You had walked in the Fade. I have explored the Fade more than anyone alive. But even I can only visit in dreams. But you might have been able to visit me here while awake.
What do you mean?
Where do you think we were?
This isn't real.
А, до тебя дошло? Конец.
That's a matter of debate. Probably best discussed after you wake up.
Ох уж мне эти сны. И кровать эта была у меня другая. Я же ставила другую кровать. Игра пытается меня наебать. Я поставила себе, блин, трон дракона. Он какой-то, блин, для карликов. Я не помню, чтобы он такой был раньше. Не пускает меня к конюшням, короче. Вообще какой-то белиберду творит. Палатки ставит там, где их раньше не было. Людей убирает непонятно куда. Игра, ты шо? И грузится еще долго. Сколько можно? Ты ж довольно старая игра. Чего ты так долго грузишься? Ой, срать. О! Вот моя замечательная кровать с кучей подушечек. Надо нормальные какие-то купить, потому что она мне не нравится. Эти голозадые мужики, мне они тут не нужны. О, задание по улучшению. Это что такое? Это какой-то странный музыкальный инструмент. Не знаю, что это. Одежный шкаф. О! Тра-та-ти-ра-ти-та-та. Сейчас. Так. Так, где там мои замечательные золотые доспехи? Сюда быстренько. Вот. Вот такой вот я красивенький. Так, что здесь еще есть? Я внезапно вижу весь замок. И горы. Очень все это подозрительно. Че, больше здесь ничего нет? Зачем мне в моей комнате этот этаж, если он не играет никакой роли? Алло. Хотя бы диванчик и рядом бутылка из кирпала. Нормально. Да, мы же инквизитор, ёбая, Геральт. Для нас должно быть самое лучшее все. Пока мы можем этим получать от этого удовольствие, пока нас не убили. О! Теперь все преобразилось. Ну, наконец, то есть надо было, блядь, пообщаться с Солосом, чтобы все перенеслось. А зачем мне садиться? Окей. Все равно какой-то карликовый, ну, он должен быть большим. Вот, да, вот таким.
Impressive, is it not? Fit for a leader, meant to show influence and the burden of it. It is where the Inquisition will sit in judgment, where you will sit in judgment.
Ну, типа, как бы, да?
Do I really need to oversee even more death? I'm nearly at capacity.
I share your distaste for more bloodshed, but it needn't come to that. The Inquisition's sovereignty is derived from the allies who validate it. You are both empowered and bound. Justice has many tools. If their application is clever, execution may even seem merciful by comparison.
Ну, давай.
Is there anyone I should judge?
Take the throne when you're ready. We will bring him before you.
Скорее всего, Алексиуса будем... Алексиуса? Как я там? Ну, этого, злую версию доктора Кто.
You recall Gerion
Okay.
Alexius of the Winter. Ferelden has given him to us as an acknowledgement of your aid. The formal charges are apostasy, attempted enslavement, and attempted assassination, on your own life, no less. De Winter has disowned and stripped him of his rank. You may judge the former Magister as you see fit.
Remind me, what's the precedent for nearly ripping apart time at the seams?
I couldn't save my son. Do you think my fate matters to me?
Will you offer nothing more in your defense?
You've won nothing. The people you saved, the acclaim you've gathered. You'll lose it all in the storm to come. Render your judgment, Inquisitor.
You swore to the mages you'd help them. I will have you uphold that promise. Fiona will take charge of you. Any knowledge, favor, or coin you own will go towards the mage's future.
A headsman would have been kinder.
Извини, мужик, надо было раньше думать. Как сказал твой сын, есть вещи похуже смерти. Так что как бы надо было быть к этому готовым. Так, ты здесь или ты все еще во дворе? Это Коул. Коул просто носится и жрет. Надо что-то жрать. Вот она. Ага. Ну, тут, короче, пока ничего интересного. Главное, она теперь на своем месте. То есть надо было, блин, поговорить всего лишь Куда я уйду? Точно же жду. Тихо ты. Где Дориан?
Brilliant, isn't it? One moment you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I was just hoping you wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. Sorry about that. Archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped. Am I speaking too quickly for you?
You don't need to worry about me. I can keep up.
Yes, I noticed that.
Did you now?
Certainly. If you were a slack-jawed yokel, you'd already be dead. I always assumed the Elder One behind the Venatori was a Magister. But this is something else completely. In Tevinter, they say the Chantry's tales of Magisters starting the Blight are just that. Tales. But here we are. One of those very magisters, a dark spawn.
Как бы да.
We only know what Corypheus claims to be.
True. He might be a convincing liar, or delusional, or insane. But how many delusional maniacs are going to have that knowledge? He broke open the Fade. I knew what I was taught couldn't be the whole truth, but I assumed there had to be a kernel of it, somewhere. But no. It was us all along. We destroyed the world.
Начинается. Каждый, короче, берет на себя вину. У меня нет слов. Все такие прям добропорядочные.
You didn't do anything. Those men did. 1,000 years ago.
True, except that one of them is up and walking around right now. Not to mention I have idiot countrymen who would happily follow him down that path again. No one will thank me, whatever happens. No one will thank you either. You know that, yes?
Конечно.
That attitude must be why they kicked you out of the Imperium.
They didn't kick me out? Well, only because they never got around to it. Eventually, they might have. All I know is this. Corypheus needs to be stopped. Men like him ruined my homeland. I won't stand by and let him ruin the world.
Ты еще выше нож задери.
Oh, and
И точно вылетишь с
congratulations on that
балкона.
whole leading the Inquisition thing, by the way.
Почему у них всех такие недовольные жопы? Жопы тоже, рожи. Все такие прям обосраться.
Anything interesting?
A letter regarding Felix, Alexius' son. He went to the Magisterium, stood on the Senate floor and told them of you. A glowing testimonial, I'm informed. No news on the reaction, but everyone back home is talking. Felix always was as good as his word.
Was?
He's dead. The Blight caught up with him.
Then you were right.
He was ill, and thus on borrowed time anyhow.
That doesn't mean you can't regret his death.
I know. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
With the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question.
Ну, мы-то про тебя знаем.
I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
You make it sound like he was a better person than you.
What a mad thing to say. Few people are better than I.
Конечно.
Very well, a better person, clearly, not nearly as handsome.
Без вариантов, да. Твои усы никто не затмит, разве
Thankfully,
что
Felix wasn't the only decent sort
Poirot.
talking around Faders. I ran into Fiona. Seems you have Alexius serving the mages. There's some justice in that after what he did to them. Maybe one day he'll realize it.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
You certainly think highly of yourself.
It's true. I could be more modest, but I'd be lying. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
я что-то подумала, что я с тобой общалась в убежище. То есть не только с Блэквиллом я не общалась, но и с тобой.
What do you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see.
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care deeply about everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love.
Ну да.
If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Действительно.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters. I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
Ну да.
I think I've heard enough.
Всех несогласных убить.
I never tire of talking about myself.
Конечно. Ладно, это потом.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
Так, короче, на этом мы закончим, потому что очень много бу-бу-бу со всеми, просто обосраться сколько. Еще осталось с кем-то там поговорить, проверить, возможно, у кого-то есть новые реплики, но этим мы займемся уже в следующей серии. Так что подписывайтесь, ставьте лайки. Всем до встречи, всем пока.